I want to get your reaction to Anthony Joshua's win over Robert Helenius as well. For many, he took a little longer than expected, but he did get the job done. What did you make of the result and the sort of antics in the ring afterwards?
Listen, it was emphatic when it came. It was just a bit slow. It was a bit, tedious, a feeling out process. I know he was boxing to orders, and it's hard. It's always, when you look at comparisons, there was always going to be comparing Wilder's first round knockout. Joshua was always going to be up against it. But look, he got it done. I felt like if Dillian was in there that night, Dillian, he was in for a great opportunity, a great chance to win and beat him. But look, he wasn't that night. And, I like Joshua, and I wish him all the best. I would like him to go in there and say he's going to win against Wilder, but I'm not sure. Not the Joshua I saw. He doesn't look as clinical. He doesn't look as dangerous. But yet again, we're saying that he's trying to box more. He's trying to work towards a game plan with Derek James. So that is a possibility, trying to hit and not get hit as much. But still, Robert Helenius landed, and his nose was damaged, and there was a lot of blood, and his eyes were swollen a little bit. So, look, but it's boxing. You're not going to go to the pool and not get wet. So, it's about trying to criticize, but understanding at the same time. He is very underrated, Robert Helenius. Very, very underrated. So, and he's come off some good wins against Karanaki, who was undefeated and was a great hope in America, and he beat him twice. So, I mean, he's been coming off, and he fought the week before, so he was definitely in a good run of play. Fluid, came in, didn't have nothing to lose, boxed with a man that didn't have nothing to lose, and he boxed really well.
Those were the words, once again, of Big Dean Whyte as he gives his breakdown of Anthony Joshua versus Robert Helenius. First off, though, let me address the Dillian Whyte situation, his brother. He said, well, hey, if Dillian Whyte was in there, yeah, he had a good chance to beat Anthony Joshua. Now, I don't know. I know styles make fights, because, Dillian Whyte has a totally different style than Robert Helenius. He's shorter. He's not as long. His reach is not out there. Robert Helenius had the advantage. He just didn't have the advantage as far as conditioning, But, who's to say Helenius would have been where he needed to be in 12 weeks based on his age and everything else? He just kind of came off a fight, but, at what type of fight? How long did he fight for? Because I know he got a KO. So, I believe so, right? I'm not really sure. I can't remember who he fought. So, but he gets in there with Joshua, and he ends up being a lot more problematic than they anticipated. And Joshua talking about a game plan, okay, and boxing more and being smarter and being wiser. And shout out to Big Dean, for addressing. Yeah, well, yeah, dude, you got hit again and again and again. Helenius was popping you, bro. And then he was throwing little combinations, little flurries in there in between. And then I know it made a lot of people nervous. So you don't want to go to a Joshua fight nervous. Nowadays, you go to a Joshua fight, the way he's fighting, people are nervous. Let me tell you guys something about AJ. Better yet, AJ fans. Better yet, AJ's British fans. And I want to address this, and I'm going to do a live about this Monday. First off, AJ's fans, British fans, are damaged. They're hurt too. Yeah, AJ was hurt. I mean, he was embarrassed in Madison Square Garden. He ain't came back since. He came here to train. But he has no mind to make it right. That was one of my issues with Anthony Joshua. Like, okay, well, hey, you come over here on holiday, you come to train, you come to do this, you come to do that, but then you don't come to fight no more. That would be the first thing I would have done if I wanted to mentally rebuild myself. If I'm Anthony Joshua, I would get a fight scheduled in Madison Square Garden. Shut all the rumors down because, we heard he was concussed We heard that this mystery problem, which you don't want to discuss, he says he's going to write a book. Okay, clever. People said that he had an anxiety attack. Okay, and that's why it took him so long to come out in that ring walk. He was looking rather weird. Okay, they were massaging his neck and stuff like that, so I didn't really know what was going on with him. You know, so there's a lot of issues, or in rumors rather, that was going on about Anthony Joshua. But yeah, fans haven't forgot that. That's right. That's the second thought. That thought is right around the corner for somebody to come in there and do that. That's why people was nervous for this fight, because it was the same way. Jarrell Miller popped dirty. They brought in Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz just got out of a fight and won, and then he came in ready and he beat him. Okay? So this was signs of that. The only difference was this was in the UK instead of the USA. If it was in the USA, it would have been the same exact situation. Oh, of course, Robert Helenius had to be American, right? But nonetheless, you know, it did take him a long time. And may I add this, okay? I think AJ's mentality is wrong. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong because it's ironic of him wanting to box more, and then he winds up getting hit more. Well, that just means you just took your fighting element out of it. You know, that's what that tells me. But it's not helping you defensively. This ain't an Erislandy Lara over Floyd Money Mayweather. This is Anthony Joshua. You know, and him thinking of boxing first and all that is not doing him any good. You know, I feel that AJ is way more behind than he should be. This is his second fight with Derek James. Rebuilding stage. I get it, but, you know, that Wilder fight, I think is a fight that I don't know if he wants, and I'll talk about that in another video, but, you know, yeah, that's a dangerous fight for him. And him boxing and stuff like that. Boxing has never saved AJ except for the Andy Ruiz fight. That's not your go-to. You're living in the past. AJ is living in the past. Because AJ is thinking probably in his mind, man, if I would have went to Madison Square Garden and boxed Andy Ruiz for 12 rounds, I would still be undefeated to this day. I know that haunts him. I know that haunts him. Now, you know, Joshua, no, you don't have a clue. But no, seriously, that's what I believe. I think he thinks about that. I think he thinks about that loss, and I think that loss, you know, put him back. And to add to that, people, you can't let one night define you. You know, because like we could say, oh, AJ's just being safer and he's working on defense, but in the long run, he's really not defensively sound like he was. Or, you know, I don't see Derek James doing him any better, really. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't see it. Maybe it was the opponent. Hopefully it was the opponent. But I didn't see this, oh man, let's see how good I am with defense. You know what I mean? And then really what happened, the boxing element of it, Helenius was able to get him because he wasn't being himself. I wouldn't let any fight stop the way I fight. I fight this way for a reason. I just need to tweak some stuff like he used to say. It's before he started coach hopping, right? So, you know, it's a lot to discuss with AJ, but it's interesting from Dean Whyte. He believes that if Dillian Whyte was in there, Dillian Whyte had a good chance to win. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!